Good morning. Thank you very much for joining us here on Times Now. This is the newspaper show and I'm Hina Gambhir. Let's get started and tell you what's making headlines as far as the Times of India this morning is concerned. On the front page, the big story that the Times of India is leading with is about the big development that took place in Rajasthan yesterday. Rajasthan governor has told the chief minister 21-day notice to call house unless it is for a trust vote. Remember, the chief minister so far hasn't mentioned that he wants to call the assembly session for a trust vote. So that's something that the governor now wants to perhaps know. Not trying to stop assembly being convened. This is what Raj Bhavan's letter said yesterday. Governor's 3-point advice. One, session should be called by giving a clear notice of about 21 days. Video recording and live telecast of proceedings to be done in case of a trust vote, which must be carried out in a yes or no format. Government should clarify how social distancing norms will be followed in the assembly in order to keep 200 MLAs and 1,000 staffers safe from COVID-19. Meanwhile, there were protests as well that were going on across the country yesterday with various leaders of the Congress party. In fact, MLAs belonging to Ashok Gehlot's camp also held protest inside the Fairmont Hotel where they are right now. And this is an image from there. Chief Minister Gehlot and Cong MLAs listening to bhajans in a hotel where they are staying right now. Apart from this, here in the national capital regarding Rajasthan, there was an update. Supreme Court has allowed Speaker to withdraw the plea against High Court order. That was another big story. South Corporation to slap professional tax hikes to levies. That's another big story. We'll get you more details on this one in just a bit. Hawkers, vendors now allowed to function in the national capital. 51,000 log on to government job portal in just 6 hours. Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has launched Rozgar Bazaar, an online placement portal that will connect job seekers with potential employers, and a lot of people in fact logged in, 51,000 in just 6 hours. The Uttarakhand High Court on Monday said that NIT campus is in landslide zone, unreasonable, arbitrary, and the Uttarakhand High Court on Monday quashed the centre's decision to establish a permanent campus of the National Institute of Technology Uttarakhand in Sumari, a zone prone to landslides and earthquakes in Pauri, Garhwal. The court called the decision irrational, unreasonable and arbitrary and falling foul of Article 14 of the Constitution of India. So that's another story. First 5 Rafales have started 7,000-kilometer flight to India. The first 5 Rafale fighters out of the 36 jets took off from France and they are expected to reach India tomorrow. They will be at Ambala Air Base. Then Kerala Chief Minister's ex-secretary was quizzed by the NIA. This is in the Kerala gold smuggling racket. Price of silver has almost doubled in 4 months. A huge amount of funds infused by central banks and the COVID-19 uncertainty are driving up global metal prices. Gold is at an all-time peak. Silver prices more than doubled since March, and copper is up 40%. PM Cares money can't go to NDRF. This is what the centre has told the Supreme Court. Australia's consumer watchdog has launched court action against Google on Monday, alleging that it misled users about its use of their personal data. News coming from Pakistan as well. Lahore Gurdwara to be made mosque, and India has lodged a strong protest with Pakistan High Commission over reports of a Gurdwara in Lahore being converted into a mosque. High Court has asked Delhi government why not do more RT-PCR tests, and there's an update about coronavirus as well. Half of India's districts have 500 plus cases each, and 613 fresh cases on Monday in Delhi were the lowest in about 2 months. Government has barred 47 clones of banned Chinese apps. This is the second digital strike after India banned about 59 Chinese apps. Then interesting news about the Ram temple in Ayodhya as well. A time capsule is going to be placed below Ayodhya temple. The capsule will be lowered 200 feet below the surface to ensure that there are no disputes in the future. Apart from this, MPs fume at MTNL's internet service quality. State-run Mahanagar Telephone Nigam Limited may lose its exclusive rights to provide internet facilities to members of parliament following various complaints regarding the quality of service. And HDFC Chairman Deepak Parekh has urged RBI not to extend loan moratorium, saying that many capable of repaying are taking undue advantage of the plan. Governor Shaktikanta Das, however, is non-committal on this. Moderna has started phase 3 clinical trial for vaccine in the US. Florida becomes second state after California in the US to overtake New York in cases. Then China takes over the premises of US consulate in Chengdu after ordering the facility to be vacated in retaliation for Houston consulate ouster. Trump's NSA, Robert O'Brien, has become the highest-ranking US official to test positive for COVID-19. And lastly, Prime Minister Modi launched 3 high-throughput ICMR labs, says over 5 lakh tests are being conducted in India daily, and efforts are on now to raise the capacity to at least 10 lakhs. So this is what is there as far as the front page of the Times of India is concerned. Let's now move on and talk about the Navbharat Times. और यहाँ पर भी जो पहली खबर है, बड़ी खबर जो है वो राजस्थान के क्राइसिस से जुड़ी हुई है। यहाँ पर नवभारत टाइम्स ने लिखा है कि गहलोत के सामने गवर्नर ने रखी है शर्त, कहा सेशन के लिए 21 दिन का नोटिस दें। सरकार से 2 सवाल भी साथ ही पूछे गए हैं। सुप्रीम कोर्ट से स्पीकर ने वापस ली याचिका और बीएसपी विधायकों के विलय पर अर्जी जो है उसे खारिज कर दिया गया है। साथ ही राष्ट्रपति पीएम ने से राज्यपाल की शिकायत। मुख्यमंत्री अशोक गहलोत और उनके विधायक दल ने राष्ट्रपति और प्रधानमंत्री से सत्र पर राज्यपाल के अड़ियल रवैये की शिकायत की है। इसके अलावा दिल्ली में लग सकेगी रेहड़ी, रोजगार बाजार भी आया। प्रधानमंत्री ने कहा रोज 10 लाख टेस्ट का लक्ष्य है। प्रधानमंत्री ने कल 3 लैब्स को लॉन्च करते हुए ये भी कहा कि कोरोना से लड़ेंगे, जीतेंगे, रोज 10 लाख टेस्ट का लक्ष्य है, एक भारतीय को बचाएंगे। और दिल्ली की अगर कोरोना काउंट की बात करें तो केवल 613 मरीज एक दिन में आए थे, जो पिछले 2 महीने में सबसे कम है अगर डेली राइज इन केसेस की बात करें तो। चाइनीज एप्स का गेम ओवर, 47 और एप्स को बैन कर दिया गया है। पबजी सहित 275 जो है वो सरकार की रेडार पर हैं। इसके अलावा 5 राफेल की भारत के लिए उड़ान 29 को अंबाला पहुंचेंगे। चीन को झटका, रूस नहीं देगा S-400। रूस ने चीन को S-400 मिसाइल डिफेंस सिस्टम की मिसाइलों की जो डिलीवरी है उसे रोक दी है। इसके अलावा रामलला के दर्शन का वक्त जो है वो 1 घंटा आगे बढ़ गया है और आम्रपाली के खरीदारों के लिए राहत है, उनको घर जल्द मिल पाएगा। और साथ ही 1 लाख से ज्यादा आमदनी तो 2400 प्रोफेशनल टैक्स। साउथ एमसीडी ने प्रॉपर्टी टैक्स पर नए कर लगा दिए हैं। सो दैट्स अबाउट द लेटेस्ट एज फार एज द नवभारत टाइम्स दिस मॉर्निंग इज कंसर्न। मूविंग ऑन एंड लेट्स सी व्हाट्स मेकिंग हेडलाइंस इन द इकोनॉमिक टाइम्स दिस मॉर्निंग। वेल, EPFO withdrawals during April to July have hit 30,000 crore rupees. That's the big story that the Economic Times this morning is leading with. 8 million subscribers dig into their own retirement corpus. Outgo may affect funds returns, pandemic-related job losses, salary cuts and medical expenses are the reasons behind this sudden increase in withdrawals from EPFO that we have seen. Then Union Minister Piyush Goyal has said that there is going to be a single window clearance system soon. Land Bank will be created to set up factories. The government is going to set up soon a single window system for industrial clearances, said Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal, adding that a land bank is being created to make it easy for investors to identify sites if they want to set up factories. There's an update as far as the aviation sector is concerned. Another pay cut for Indigo executives and pilots. Indigo has implemented another round of pay cuts for its senior management and pilots, and amid business hit by COVID-19 pandemic. The latest round, which means a 15 to 35% reduction for senior management from pre-COVID times, will be effective September 1st. Then norms released to boost bulk drug business. And there are more interesting stories here. Banks can't fund infra plans, need to find new ways. This is what RBI Governor Shaktikanta Das yesterday mentioned at a CII event. Das hailed setting up of national investment and infra funds. He also mentioned that non-performing assets relating to infrastructure lending by banks have remained at elevated levels. Both public and private investment will be key to financing the infrastructure investment. Then finance panel in talks on bank recapitalization. The government is in talks with 15th Finance Commission on bank recapitalization and will decide on the sector's needs on a 5-year period. This is what the chairman NK Singh has mentioned. Apart from this, PE funds take comfort in FinMin notification. Global PE funds hazy about India's precise stance on the concept of beneficial ownership in the context of Chinese money in these investment vehicles are taking comfort in recent finance ministry notification. While the circular restricts Chinese companies from participating in public procurement bids, it has defined beneficial owner as someone who owns 25% or more in a company or is in control of the entity. So a clarification there coming after the government released an order on public procurement by by companies in countries which share the land border with India. That was being seen as an economic strike against China. Then apart from this, India attempts to strengthen ties with Dhaka. India has taken a slew of initiatives over the past 2 weeks for strengthening trade ties with Bangladesh amid China's bid to increase influence in the neighborhood. A couple of more interesting stories. Don't extend moratorium. This is what HDFC chairman Deepak Parekh has told RBI. He says that lender is under stress. Kotak Bank's standalone profit has declined 9%. And lastly, multiplexes may cut ticket prices by up to 15% to woo the movie viewers. Even though as of now, no decision has really been taken as far as opening of the cinema halls is concerned. Many reports, of course, are indicating that it could be opened in the next phase of unlocking that's going to begin from 1st of August. Let's be more city-specific now and talk about the national capital. What's making headlines as far as the Delhi edition of the Times of India is concerned. My colleague Parveena joining us this morning for more on this. Parveena, good morning. South Corporation to slap professional tax hikes to levies. Give us more details on this one.
Very good morning, Hina. This is a new proposal which has come from SDMC to levy professional tax to professions such as, self-employed lawyers, architects, chartered accountants, doctors. The second factor in this that they will also increase the tax for entrepreneurs or people who are renting property for their own business from any professions. And third is also if there is a transfer of property, for example, if they rent from one to the other, there will be increase in that too. So these are the new proposals, these are the new factors in this proposal which has to now go through the Delhi government, and that has to be seen if Delhi government approves it, because the Aam Aadmi Party, who is in opposition of SDMC, has already opposed it and has strongly said that this exposes the anti-people mindset of SDMC or BJP, so to say. That's how Aam Aadmi Party reacted so far to this new proposal. So this looks like has to go through a long route to implement. It will be a big hit for people to, on one hand, when SDMC wants to, generate 20 crore from this proposal, but at the same time, people have also gone through losses during these difficult times. So we are expecting a lot of opposition and agitation.
All right. Thank you very much, Parveena, for the moment, for joining us with all of those details. Let's now quickly move on and talk about the Mumbai edition of the Times of India this morning. Arunil, my colleague, is joining us on the broadcast. Arunil, good morning. Number of discharges more than new cases. There has been a dip in deaths too. What is the chart really indicating for Mumbai and Maharashtra?
Well, that is right. Good morning to you, Hina. In fact, yesterday, the number of discharge cases, basically patients who got treated and got discharged from hospital, was 8,700. And the number of new positive cases was just more than 7,900. So these are welcome signs, considering the number of discharged patients is more than the total number of positive cases that have been recorded in the state of Maharashtra. One important thing, Hina, that will be in the month of July itself, around 2 lakh cases have been recorded in the state of Maharashtra. But out of those 2 lakh cases, only 15%, 15% of the cases are from the city of Mumbai, and more than double of the cases of Mumbai, basically 33%, are from the Mumbai metropolitan region, basically the satellite cities of Mumbai like Thane, Navi Mumbai, Kalyan, Dombivli, Mira, Bhayandar. This is the main hotspot in the state of Maharashtra at present, with 33% of the new cases recorded from here. And Pune is also reeling under the coronavirus pandemic because 30% of the cases have come from Pune as well. So the Maharashtra government will have to do similar
Right.
kind of measures that the BMC has taken in Mumbai to
All right.
ensure that the cases in these places are also curtailed.
Thank you very much, Arunil, for the moment for joining us with all of those details. Another very interesting political story that the Mumbai edition of the Times of India has reported. Let's quickly read that one as well. BJP will contest next state assembly poll sans any crutches. This is what BJP President JP Nadda has said. And at the same time, Prime Minister Modi's letter, Ajit's post wishing Uddhav on his birthday is raising many eyebrows. So that's another important story that has been reported in the Mumbai edition. Let's now move on and talk about the Bengaluru edition of the Times of India this morning, and the big story on the front page is that Karnataka's COVID cases have breached 1 lakh mark. 50,000 in fact were reported in just 128 days. Another 50,000 came in only 11 days, and in the last couple of weeks only we have seen a sudden spike in new cases in Karnataka. Let's go across to my colleague Imran joining us on the broadcast. Imran, good morning. The state of Karnataka is seeing 5,000 plus new infections almost on a daily basis now.
Well, absolutely. In fact, what is worrying part is that the 50,000 cases it took by July 16, and between July 16 and July 27, now 50,000 cases have been added. That's Karnataka as among the 5 states like Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, with crossing the 1 lakh mark. And now what is also the toll has also come up close to around 2,000. It's around 1,953, and out of which half of the cases and half of the death toll is from the Bangalore city. Yadgir is one of the districts which is reported the quickest recovery and the least death reported there due to COVID, only 2 cases. But crossing the 1 lakh mark has been worrisome. Karnataka was looked at as the ideal state in terms of fighting the COVID pandemic. But in the past, especially in July month, the number of cases have gone really drastically high,
Right.
and we've crossed the 1 lakh mark. The government and experts believe that the people also have to take a blame in that for not maintaining social distancing and also for not wearing masks properly. And this is the issues, and inter-district travel and the opening of the economy has led to the rise in number of cases in Bangalore.
All right. Appreciate you joining us, Imran, with all of those details. In fact, 2 political stories also that the Bengaluru edition has reported, which we just want to quickly highlight. One, the Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka has skipped government's anniversary celebrations, and that is fueling some kind of speculation. Deputy CM says he went to discuss development issues with the ministers in Delhi, and B.S. Yediyurappa is awaiting nod for a cabinet rejig. In fact, 6 ministers may face axe. So that's the political update that we have for you from the state of Karnataka. Let's now move on and talk about the Kolkata edition of the Times of India. The Chief Minister has told Prime Minister Modi that people in constitutional posts are disturbing the state. My colleague Tamal Saha is now joining us on the broadcast this morning. Tamal, good morning. Turned away after testing positive for COVID, a pregnant woman has told the panel about what really happened.
Well, that's right. It has been a matter of concern for the state government because there have been multiple complaints before this discussion regarding private hospitals. So as per the standard operating procedure, the private hospitals had decided that no COVID-positive patient would be admitted. However, that same, clause was never disclosed properly for the comprehension of the patient parties. Thus, many a times patients have been refused admission at the very last moment. With private hospitals asking for a report, a COVID report, and if the report is positive, the patients have been turned away. So the state government has now decided that the private hospitals will mandatorily have to mention before admission that the patient has to be brought to the hospital with the COVID report, and if test is positive, will be refused admission unless it's a COVID.
All right. Thank you very much, Tamal, for the moment for joining us with all of those details. Let's now move on and talk about the Chennai edition of the Times of India. Tamil Nadu, we know, is the second worst affected state in the country with the most number of cases after Maharashtra. And here, the big story that the Chennai edition is leading with today is that the High Court warned Centre to fix OBC quota for its medical seats. So that's an important update that we have for you at this point in time. Apart from this, the government hospitals are ready. They have prepared suspect COVID-19 wards as well. Daily cases in Tamil Nadu have crossed almost 7,000 mark again. Toll crosses 3,500. Shabir, my colleague, joining us on the broadcast this morning. Shabir, good morning. Give us more details on what the High Court had mentioned, because now it is up to the centre to fix OBC quota for its medical seats.
Well, that's right. This issue pertains to the All India quota, the seats that were surrounded by the state government, where OBC reservations were not followed. And that was the demand, the only demand, that OBC reservations should be included in All India quota as well by all political parties except the BJP. And as far as Tamil Nadu is concerned, Tamil Nadu is the only state where 69% reservation policy is being followed by the state government. So reservation is something which is being taken very seriously as far as the state of Tamil Nadu is concerned. So almost all political parties approached the Madras High Court, and the Madras High Court has now asked the centre to look into this issue and formulate a law within 3 months or maybe before that, because considering that there is a merit in this argument that is put forth by the political parties. The Madras High Court has, given this suggestion to the government as a policy decision. They should come up with a law for OBC quota. So clearly a huge victory for political parties, and this also forced the BJP to claim credit for the verdict that came yesterday from the Madras High Court.
All right, Shabir, appreciate you joining us with all of those details. Let's now move on and talk about news from around the world. WHO says COVID-19 by far the worst global health emergency. China has recorded highest daily surge in cases since April, and a scientist has said that the officials disinfected Wuhan market ahead of the probe by WHO. Pandemic at Trump's doorstep. NSA tests positive for coronavirus. Chinese students in Australia targeted in virtual kidnapping scam, and a report has suggested that US warplane flew 76 kilometers from Shanghai. That's another big story. Meanwhile, Google has extended work from home till June 2021. Let's now move on and talk about the world of sports now. My colleague Karishma joining us this morning as well. Karishma, good morning. What do you have for us today from the world of sports?
Good morning, Hina. Interesting piece of news for all cricket fans. There are details about IPL and how it will be held in the UAE. In fact, the TOI is reporting that there is a meeting of the IPL Governing Council on the weekend in which all the modalities will be finalized regarding IPL and what kind of procedure is going to be followed in the UAE. The IPL is slated to start from the 19th of September to the 8th of November. The BCCI has already sent a letter of intent to the Emirates Cricket Board, but now what we are waiting for is a government approval, which the BCCI expects will be in by tomorrow or Thursday, and then it will be all clear for IPL to be shifted out of India and to UAE, Hina.
All right, Karishma, appreciate you joining us with all of those details. Let's now move on and show to our viewers what's there as far as the Delhi Times page this morning is concerned. So there you have it. If actors who are 65 plus are half and are hale and hearty, why should not they be allowed to work and earn a living? There are several actors, senior actors, who are questioning Maharashtra government's guidelines, which is not allowing actors above 65 years of age on set. So here you have the reactions coming from big actors, which include Hema Malini, Dharmendra and many other. Apart from this, Aishwarya and Aradhya have tested COVID negative, and a lot of other interesting stories that you can find here as far as the Delhi Times page is concerned. With this, it's a wrap. Thank you very much for staying with us here on the Newspaper Show.